Alright, and we're back for another How To Tuesday. This time we're going to talk about how to make one left Purl-wise. So, if you don't know who I am, I'm Aradia Noire. I am the resident witch and creatrix over to Aradia's Hand and Danae's Divine, where I create myth, magic, and meaning for your everyday life. And on Tuesdays, I like to do a little how-to. So, as mentioned in the other videos, all of the other Make One videos are linked to one another, so you can find whichever one you need or would like to do. And it's easier that way. You need just needles and yarn. And this is an increase to do. When you need to make an increase, you need to add a single stitch, but you don't want it to be super obvious or leave a large hole like a yarn over would. It does leave a small hole, but that's something that blocking and wear can usually sort out. So there's that. And like the Make One Left knit, this is worked in the same orientation, only it is a purl. And there you go. So I'm going to work these 5 stitches, make one left here, and work these other 5. Now what I will say is people generally do favor a specific style, whether it's the right or the left. And if it works for you, it works for you. So I say do what works for you. Alright, so here we go. Now, like the other Make One Left, you're going to be working into the front of the work. So you're going to get this little bar right here. You're going to go insert it from front to back. Okay, and now you've got to work on the into the back of the stitch. Now, I prefer the Make One Left purl myself, just like I prefer the Make One Left knit, because they're easier to get the needle in there. But that is because I tend to work in the front of the work. So, and I misspoke, I mean the right. I prefer the Make One Right. So what you have to do is you have to get this stitch, or this needle, into the back of the stitch, which is always for me a little wonky. It's possible, but like just purling in the back loop is just odd for me. And there you go. But it's possible. So there you go. And as you can see, it's spreading out just a smidge, not a whole lot, just a little bit, with this not being an overly obvious stitch on this side. It's a little more obvious because it's got the little hole here on the other side. We'll work this across, and then I'm going to do 2 more Make One rows. Alright, so I'm going to work the border stitch. There's a couple of stitches in, we're going to stop. Okay, so again, we're going to work in this bar right here between these 2 stitches, front to back, and then we're going to insert the needle into the back of the purl, yarn over, we'll work this 1 stitch. I'm going to do that again. So you insert the needle into the front, making sure your yarn's up here. and then insert the right needle into the back of the purl stitch. Yarn over and drop loop. As you can see, the angle at which it's flaring out is a bit more noticeable now. Work one more row, do our last set of increases so you can see them. And I like to make ones because they're an easy one to do, and you just need to remember that when you're doing the rights, you're going into the back of the work to drop the bar. When you're going to the front, you will, or left, you go to the front. And the way I like to remember it is that you will be right back, right? Okay, so I'm going to work the first 5 stitches. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and do our increase left up, front to back. And then insert in the back of the purl, yarn over. And I'm going to knit these 3. By knit, I mean purl these 3. Then we're going to do another one. So again, it's your last one. I'm going to pick up the stitch from the front to the back and insert the needle into the back of the stitch. Yarn over. And voila! You have made one purl-wise left. Alright, so this is what you're looking at. See how it flares out? It's a lot more noticeable now, and it looks very similar to how it looks if you had worked it in the knit side on the other side. So I hope this was helpful to you, and it adds to your knitting toolbox. I would love to hear from you. Have you tried this particular technique, and how did you like it? Or do you have something better that you prefer? Share it with me in the comments below. And remember, I will link to all of these videos to one another, as well as a video on continental combination knitting and another video on garter stitch, so you can see how that's made and hear a little more about it. So thank you for joining me, and have a wonderful day. Happy knitting!